We shall call this meeting of the Alva Tourism Tax Board to order. And the first thing is discussion actions on the November 18th, 2020 meeting. No, wrong view. Here we go. Yeah, it's still January it's on the minutes from the January 20, 2021 meeting. There we go.
I move we approve the minutes. January 20. A second.
A motion. Second.
Charles.
Aye.
Glenda. Yes. Connor.
Aye.
Terry.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry. 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 I'll get the hang of it again.
All right. Next is discussion and action on the December financial report.
And the CD is still not on the December one. It is on the January one. But it can't really prove the December one if it's not on there.
Did I give you the wrong one?
It's on the January one. Well, on mine.
There was some, I had a question on the numbering of the CD.
And while you're looking, Jody, I can talk about that a little bit. So I know there was questions about a CD that was missing from the December financial statements. So I just wanted to kind of give a rundown of what had happened there. We take the financial statements from our accounting system, and they are just some nondescript, difficult to read financial statements, and we then hand key them into a spreadsheet to create what you guys see here that are a little bit easier to read. It combines the information. And so what happened is that CD was reinvested, and when it was reinvested, the CD that was on there, listed on the CD number that was listed in December was essentially zeroed out and reinvested in a new CD, but the new CD was not added to the front page of the financial statements. I did email that back out to Jody. Were you able to find it?
I think I reprinted the same one again.
Okay.
But I think that's why it's not in here, because I printed it again. I think that's what I did.
And so I think, Norma, what you're talking about, I think Jody and I discussed the CD numbering, the names of the banks on the CDs, those change. And I reprinted the January front page I can give to you that just takes the bank names off of there. The CD numbers change. As you know, whenever we reinvest them, we potentially could go to a different bank. If we change banks,
Right.
those numbers are going to change. And I did want to talk a little bit about that process of how on the CDs, how we make sure that those are not being cashed in, or that they stay, like your tourism tax money stays with the tourism tax. So the city treasurer, he generally, he keeps a ledger. He keeps a ledger of the CDs independent from our accounting software. One of the things that we've implemented in the last year is that instead of that information coming directly from city management to the finance committee, the city treasurer sends out his independent list directly to the finance committee members to review, and then they have the ability to compare the information presented by the treasurer to the reports that are given by city management to ensure that everything is accounted for. So I just kind of wanted to explain to you how that process worked, what caused the error there. It was just simply a typo. And I guess, Kelly, if you would like to input anything there. I know you're not here on that capacity, but we review those CDs as they come up for renewal. The finance committee discusses what the most appropriate action is as far as reinvestment. If we change the terms, or we always try to shop out to all the local banks to make sure that we're getting the best rate for our CD. So I'm happy. Go ahead.
One thing I would, the board, if you so desired, we know when those CDs are coming due, and it wouldn't be any problem for us to put those on your agenda to decide whether or not you want to reinvest them or cash them or whatever you need to do. And then that way you would have knowledge of those transactions prior to them showing up on the financial report.
We do reinvest those, depending on the CD, the dollar amount of CD. I think all of your CDs are relatively similar in balances, but they are invested for various amounts of time. I think we have one 6-month CD, one 12-month CD, and one 24-month CD. That gives us some variability there, and make sure we don't have everything all invested in the exact same length of time.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions at this point?
I just see a discrepancy on, funds available in December, end of December, 368,000, and we go to 440,000.
Right, because that CD wasn't showing.
Is that all that's,
Yeah, that CD wasn't showing into there.
562, let's see that.
I do have a question then. On the financial statement, under encumbered amount, and this may be a bookkeeping thing, but that encumbered amount that shows on the financial statement is not actually the amount that we have encumbered for the rest of our fiscal year. For instance, it says $25,373, and we have encumbered through July 21, or through July the 1st, $53,650.
And when you say encumbered,
That's, if everybody came and got everything we have promised them through July the 1st, it would be $53,650 approximately.
have we submitted purchase orders for everything that you guys have approved here?
Right, now this isn't submitted, this isn't things that have been submitted, it's just what we have, have somebody's kind of allocated. Right.
So that would be my question. Have you encumbered everything that you guys have approved and
Since
allocated?
January, yeah.
I would have to look into the specifics of that. If Jody has the 53, what makes that up, I would have to look at that normal to be able to.
Okay.
Do you have that, Jody? I mean, I'd be happy to take a look at it. Jody might have a conversation. We can sit down and look at what the variances are. I just don't have that.
Would be
report.
this page, Jody, this book.
Oh, the one that I do?
The one that you do.
I just don't have that one.
Yeah.
After December page, you look at it.
No, this would be the January page.
You want it right now?
Yeah, maybe I should look it up, and then there may be.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just didn't have access to it.
And that's everything that was added from the January meeting.
And when you say 53,000 normal, what are you? From this,
That would be the red carpet visitors guide, the Oklahoma's outdoor guide, the Alva Bowl battle.
so if you look at the encumbrance page in your financial statement, which is page number 4, so we have encumbered the $15,000 for the radio, the $4,500 for the Crazy Cool Boulevard cruise, $28,000 for the Big Cruise and Car Show, but the ones above that, the Alva Bowl Battle, the Oklahoma State Parks and Outdoor Guide, the Red Carpet Country, I don't have encumbrances, I don't have purchase orders for those. We do for the $6,000, I do have those, but
So, but I mean, does she turn in purchase orders
I do it.
before they happen?
Yes.
Even if the people haven't submitted invoices?
Because that's how we get it on there.
Okay.
So we need, I know, like the Alva Bull Battle, is that one, the one from last year that we
That's-
didn't, this is a new
The
request?
December one, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I have all copies of turning them in.
So it could be, it could also be a timing, depending on when Jody turned them into Shelley at the city and when the financial statements were pulled, because the encumbrances are a to-the-minute report, and if Shelley didn't have those put in yet, there could be a timing variance there. But what I can do is before the next meeting is I can get with Jody and look at what she has here, and we can discuss why we don't have purchase orders. It could be that maybe Shelley had a question on a purchase order and she hadn't reconnected with Jody yet, and we didn't have those in. So there could be a variety of reasons, but between now and the next meeting,
Okay.
we'll get together and get that figured out, and then I'll have a better answer for you at the next meeting.
So if she turns in purchase orders before they happen, would she turn in the ones for next year?
Well, as you guys, essentially, as you guys approve this here, we would then turn a purchase order request because we know that we've already allocated those funds. But we wouldn't do it before, like if you haven't approved it, we wouldn't do it at that point in time. But if you have approved it for next year, we would go ahead and put it on the books.
I'm trying
But
to
you
turn
couldn't really put it on there for this year's budget and make it look right because they won't be in this year's budget.
So well then maybe I'm not understanding. Are you approving it for the next fiscal year's budget?
Well, some things are approved for next fiscal year's budget already, events that are going to happen then.
So like, for example, the cruising car,
Right.
we know that's going to be next fiscal year,
Right.
but you've already approved it.
Right.
I would like to discuss that with our auditors and
Okay.
find out what's appropriate there. Because I would question the ability for us to allocate funds that we haven't yet budgeted.
Right.
So let me visit with them before the next meeting as well and talk about what that should look like, because Kelly, do you agree with me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? We wouldn't want to allocate funds that we haven't all ideally budgeted for yet.
But we still have to go ahead and improve events because there's no way we can run up to July and then have people
But
waiting.
as far as
We might need to talk to them to see how to account for it, but we can encumber an expense for a future year. But
But it would be out of this year's budget. It wouldn't be out of the future budget. It would be allocated out of the current budget.
yes,
Then we would be way over our budget all the time.
Right.
well, you might appear that way.
Right.
But yeah, ultimately, if it's approved this year, it would have to be encumbered out of this year's budget.
Because anything encumbered that's not paid by the end of the fiscal year is going to get pushed into the next fiscal year.
For payment, but it would be out of this year's budget, out of the current budget. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. The auditors will be here soon.
Yes. We'll discuss and I'll come back with.
Right.
As of July, usually a new year.
Right. That's what we're talking about, yeah. Okay.
So are we going to table these, or are we going
I would think we probably have to table them.
I think so.
Anybody disagree with that?
I move that we table the December and January financial statements.
Second.
Got a motion, second, Judy?
Terry,
Aye.
Connor, Melinda,
Aye.
Charles, Wilson.
Aye. All right. Before we go on to the next item, I just wanted to do a little, for our board here, kind of where we're at. I think we want to be crystal clear on everything we're doing tonight. We have some interesting things on the agenda. And we are here to do tourism business, but I want to show everybody where we're at money-wise for this year, because we were on the $150,000 budget. And these are approximate numbers, or within, I didn't mess with the cents, but we've spent around $43,590. We have about $53,650 encumbered. So basically, we've committed out of our $150,000, $97,240. We have $38,200 requested here tonight. If we approve these things, which I'm not saying shouldn't be approved, I'm saying if we approve these things, we're at $14,560 left of our budget till July 1. Just want to, if anybody had questions, or where we were at.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So the next thing will be discussion and action on the Alva Chamber of Commerce Tourism Promotion and Marketing Project, not to exceed $21,200.
Okay, so everyone, I'm Jody, I'm the director of the chamber. And today we have Melissa Fisher, she is our secretary. No, you're the vice president. Megan Lear is our secretary. Then we have members Sally Eggleston, Jody Bright, and Chet Cheelite, and our wonderful president, Connor Martin. So, just wanted to throw that out there.
I think Melissa should present.
Yeah, this is hard for me right now. So, as we were presenting today, I just wanted to say that the chamber has been through a strategic plan, and we have identified 4 core values that we are working on, and we established a new mission statement and goals for the next 3 to 5 years. Our mission statement reads that the Chamber of Commerce's mission is to promote business, industry, enhance economic community, support tourism opportunities and promotion, and serve as a catalyst for improving the overall quality of life in the community and the region.
These 4 areas that we've identified that we want to work on are organizational planning and development, membership development and recognition, business development, which is support and development of businesses, and tourism development, the marketing and promotion of that area.
So why we're here. So for the last 10 years, the tourism and marketing side of that has kind of been outside of the chamber's realm. And they have the chamber page, of course, that they keep pretty active and lively. But what we're asking for today is funding to bring back and assume that role for tourism and marketing for Alva and the area. So through this strategic plan that we've been going through for the last 6 months, we've done a lot of discussions on where we see Alva, where it currently is, how we want, or we see the chamber as an umbrella to bring in all the entities of Alva into one cohesive feel, all right? So that the messaging that we're portrayed to the world out there is all kind of on the same page and it feels the same dynamically whenever you look at it. So as we talk about how to do that and go about it, we've developed our core values. We're going through the bylaws right now to be as efficient as possible, because those haven't been gone through in a long time. We're looking at some logo ideas that we can maybe incorporate with the city of Alva, so that maybe that can start to look a little more cohesive, so the branding looks good for Alva, not just chamber looks this way, city looks this way, kind of bring that all together as one, and promote all the areas that are happening in Alva right now. So the board that had that for the last 10 years, I believe you guys have funded that, funded the tourism aspect for their social media, and that has recently dissolved. That board has, so we're asking to bring that back and let the chamber, asking for funds from you to help hire that out and help kind of guide all of that to promote all the businesses, promote all the events, all of the extracurricular activities that are in this area, and kind of make sure that the world knows that this is a central, vital area that is growing and to promote more growth. So basically that's it. The budgeting she's given to you already, so if you have any questions about what we're thinking, feel free.
Yes. Does anybody on the board want to say anything else?
Or did I misspeak? You can correct me too.
You look like you want to say something.
I think I've
said this all along, but I think it's very important that we have a brick and mortar that puts this whole thing together. So if I'm a tourist, I can come, it's on the boulevard, and get the whole picture. I think unity is what we're looking at.
And if something's posted outside and they show up at the chamber and she hasn't seen that or didn't post it and hasn't had access to any of that information, it can kind of make Alva look bad that your chamber doesn't even know what's going on or didn't know what was out there. So it brings that all under one hat and helps hopefully build everybody up.
I think I can add a little to that, but in case you didn't really know what was happening, is Melissa and Brenda and those that were running the current tourism deal, Visit Alva. They met with this group and heard all their ideas and thought that that was an excellent idea, and to dissolve their group and let this group take it over. And so they were all about this idea. So while we appreciate what they've done very, very much, they could see an advantage to this being the next step.
To add to that too, Visit Alva was identified, when we were going through all of this with the chamber, Visit Alva was identified as something that is trying to do the same thing that we were trying to do. And so maybe a lot of times we were headed in a different direction trying to get to the same place. And so that's kind of how we got to where we met with them and discussed this and told them kind of what we had in mind, what we were wanting to do. And Visit Alva too, as far as their board, it was very much volunteer, and that's very appreciated. That's not, as far as the chamber has a board and a director that's held accountable by the board. So as far as reporting and accountability and all of those things, it's held to a much stricter rule under the chamber's direction too, as well, as far as some of these things that we're trying to do. So
I think accountability is a good word there because we're part of our strategic plan is to be able to get some feedback on how it's going instead of just winging it and not maybe having a plan of action. Also being able to bring that back, and through the analytics of social media, you can review that and you can see, okay, was this one good? Was 5 o'clock better posting than 8 o'clock? You can look at all of those analytics within social media and it can tell you, and the plan is to bring that back to the board, discuss it, shift if we need to, or how come Menagerie got a whole bunch of engagement on that particular post, but holders didn't. What did we do wrong to not give holders the same opportunity, if that makes sense? So then if this gets approved by you guys, that would be part of the report coming back to you next year. And then you guys can say, okay, you have increased your number of likes, your engagement, your impressions over this last year. So you guys can hold the board accountable as well and decide that was too much funding or you need more, keep it going, whatever it is.
And the goal is to bring people in,
Yeah.
not just
once they're here.
Not just the people here, but to bring people in. We do have people coming in. I can tell you, having a tourism business, an agritourism business, that we have people coming in. We need a place, we need to continue to have a place that we can send them and say, hey, you need to check out this is the page that you need to check out so you can see what else is here, because we want people, because we already know that people are coming in. We want to be able to send them in town and tell them where to go and how to spend their time once they're here. And we have had, people that we've been able to do that with. So it's a broader reach, not just a local reach, but a broader reach.
One of the things that brought this up, one of the many things, is when they had the championship football game at the college. We didn't know about it until like 2 days before. And there's many opportunities there, not only for the tourism community, but for every business that's in this city, if we know about that ahead of time. And that's one of our challenges also.
And having a rolling calendar that we know the things that are going on, having that person would be the person who goes and says, hey, what have you got going on? And checking in with those different places so that we have a rolling calendar as well, and you know that you can go right here and this is the spot you go to find out all of the events. Not just the events that have been turned into you, but you reach that person reaching out to find those events and saying, hey, all these things are going on.
And not just Alva events, but events throughout this area, because we all know that when they go to Alabaster Caverns, they're probably going to stay and eat in Alva. So this is all to our advantage. If they go to Sand Dunes, a lot of them are going to come stay and eat in Alva. And if they know what's out there, maybe they'll come shop and do other things in Alva if they have an idea of what we've got, go to the menagerie, you know.
And I know you all know this, but we're in the middle of so many great things to do.
Yeah.
And so often people, I mean, I don't know how many people from here have never gone to Alabaster Caverns, but I guarantee you there's some that haven't. But to get it for those people to come in, when I lived in La Junta, Colorado, they had old Ben's Fort out there. 60% of the people in that town had never been to Ben's Fort. So to get that information out is not only good for bringing people in, but there's a lot of people here that, oh, wow.
Also, we kind of believe that right now the timing is good because people have been stagnant for a while now. And so kind of what we're looking at for tourism is by summertime, we're going to see a larger increase in vaccinations happen, people feeling a little bit better about getting out, but they're going to probably still stay within a certain mile range until they feel even more comfortable. So grabbing onto that and revitalizing that, I guess,
Take it and run.
yeah, like go now and let it, like, get planned for the summer, because we're going to be ready for you when you're comfortable, you know, and that we are small, we're not going to be super crowded, so there's an advantage right there to still calm your fears to come to this area outside, I think.
And I can tell you that was actually kind of happening a little bit in the fall as well.
Yeah.
People were traveling within the state, exploring our state, where they had, you know, they weren't necessarily going out of state, but they were exploring the state. And we did have people that were coming in, but we just need that cohesive place where we can check in to say, where those people can check in, or everybody knows, hey, if you check out this page, if you check out this place, whatever, then all the happenings right here in this area are going to be right there.
Yeah, and places to shop and places.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely
We've
need
got a,
to enhance our,
yeah, we've got a lot of
presence.
ideas in the works. What is that little thing that I want?
Your
QR code. But different things like that, we've really got a lot of good ideas that we want to push forward, and some of these young people say that it's not a hard concept, you know, for us to get there. I have no idea, but we have a lot of ideas.
But it does take a devoted person kind of to make sure that that's at least scheduled out. They have a plan of action. They come to the board and say, here's what I'm planning to post and get out there and get our feedback for that. But it can't be on somebody's shoulders that already has outside, you know. So that's what we're looking for, is to get somebody that will take direction from us.
You guys have any questions?
I think it's a good plan. That's exciting information. So the breakdown, 7,200 for, I guess PT stands for part-time?
Yes.
Part-time staff for social media. And have you these people, have you designated them or looked at a company, or you have any idea?
Not yet. We have not done that yet. We're going to put that out in the newsgram and have applications for people to apply for it.
Okay, and the same thing with the web development?
Yes,
It's all
yes.
just out there?
We would love to have a account where we have photos, because we need photos to be put on Facebook, and that's
Right.
one thing that we need to get going, so we can use for, for the red carpet, if we need for pictures from some sort. We need, we want to update the brochure that we have. We did that, man, how many years ago was that? Probably 5 years. We want to update the brochure. We're already kind of working towards that right now. Terry and I talked earlier about the Oklahoma Today magazine. That's a wonderful thing to advertise in, and I feel like we should do that again. That's just estimated on how much that would
I was
cost.
gonna say, what does $8,000 get you? Because, I mean, I think we did like 1,500 for the.
Yeah,
red
that's
carpet.
just like an overestimate, because I
It
have
seemed
a.
really, really expensive.
Yes, yes. So that's kind
So
of how we
kinda-
did that, because we can do some other advertisements with the Travel Oklahoma through that if we do like today, Oklahoma Today magazine. Yes.
No, no, it's fine.
So
So
that's
we'll get
kind
you
of-
on to Discover Oklahoma.
Do what?
We'll get you on to Discover.
Well, maybe the Oklahoma
need to
Today
call.
magazine,
You just
yeah.
They're coming to talk to you.
And our commercial.
He's calling, that's why we're talking
There we
here.
go. And our commercial will be on there soon, in March.
I was gonna ask
So,
about the commercials.
Yep.
That was good.
We want that in March because that's whenever the crystal digging will start back up in April. So that will be out there. And then we can put the Visit Alva stuff and all the information on the commercial too. So we're excited, and I think it's going to be great. Like today, I had 2 visitors come in. One was from Washington State, and another couple, their daughters on the basketball team from St. Louis. So it was fun visiting with them, and they wanted to know what to do today and the rest of the week. So
Yeah, we get that a lot. I'm
Yep.
just trying. And we really do need a like
Site
central
where you
place
say-
for activities
Yes,
where it has
yes.
the, the Northwestern activities and the high school, the big activities, because it would be so much easier to schedule.
And I hear all
For
the
any
time.
business owner to schedule,
Right,
when you know there's gonna be a lot of
Right.
people in town.
And
So,
promote. Yep.
yes,
Because I hear it all the time. Oh, I didn't know that was taking place. And this is just going to be another thing for people to know what's going on. Any questions for us?
So can you get analytics on the Oklahoma Today ads?
I think maybe phone calls from the thing. I don't know if, I think
I feel like it's
Yes,
a little
we did.
premature for the
Yeah.
Oklahoma Today ads.
about that now.
Yeah. I think that's an awful lot to be committing. And then the part-time staff for social media, I mean, is that for like a year?
Yeah,
What's that
for a
for?
year, yeah.
I mean, I would say we could go for like 6 months and try it out. I mean, I would like to see all these pretty much cut in half,
And do
except for the
just-
web development. The web development, I know it's a one-time cost and it needs to be done, it needs to be done quick. But, so let me see how much it would be.
Is that enough for web development?
And I think
Well,
something
they
to
have
bring
a
up.
website that they're going to just refine, is that correct?
And then we'll have access to it to do everything that we don't need to, right? Or not we, but
Yeah.
you.
I
The
don't
part-time
want to
person.
push you guys in any direction, but I do want to ask, is Visit Alva, the Advertising and Promotions Committee, that's dissolving? Why not take it? The website and social media platform.
That's what's
So that's what they're doing.
So the wording was off a little bit. Visit Alva is going to continue, it'll just be under direction of the chamber.
And you're going to take on the role of more of a chamber and visitor bureau type organization.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
Visit Alva, and I think if you look at a lot of other chambers, Visit Alva is something that is under their visit whatever is under the umbrella of the chamber. And so
Yeah, I'd just hate for the money that was spent on developing all that to,
right,
if you can use it, use it.
yeah. And so, yeah, it's
If
going to
they
continue.
can, they will.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of these, some of the funds or items in this amount here are things that Visit Alva would be coming to normally that have been funded in the past. So, right, these are things that we are taking on. So that larger amount is something that has been funded for Visit Alva to in the past in those amounts.
And typically, that tourism promotion there would have come like back in November, December, I think, to ask for the funds. I think if you look at previous years, it would have been more in that realm to ask for the funds to fund those things and then start in on a
I think
contract or
it says
something.
here, it
But I
says,
may be-
has money been requested before, and it says no, but
It's
It-
been
it has-
requested under
It has
the
through
different.
another organization.
It has, and one thing that I do know this also for a fact, that the social media contract that we currently had and stuff ended the 1st of February. And so that money has already, from last time, had already been spent. There isn't any money allocated for the social media contract as of this time. They did, last year we had a person hired doing that.
Said, I feel like it's an awful lot, just because at the beginning of the meeting, we talked about, what we have left to make it till July, for the tourism to allocate. And I feel like it's too much. I would be willing to do, like I said, pretty much half that, and go on a 6-month and see where we are, and see if we're happy with the people that are doing it, because I think that's, in the past, we've dedicated, okay, we're all gung-ho, we're gonna do this for a year, and then maybe it's not what we thought it was going to be. So that's kind of how I feel. But
I wouldn't think we could really cut the brochure deal in half or the
okay,
web development.
the web development, we cut that in half, or maybe the brochure. So what is that? 4,000.
And
So
then
17.2 divided by 6.
What size ads are we talking about in this Oklahoma today? Maybe they didn't know.
I don't know yet.
See, we don't even really know. That's what
so we
I
could,
just feel like it's premature.
we could do the brochures and the web development.
Yeah,
And then you could
I'm good
do
for those.
the others and say, come back in 6 months and we'll do some more money. And we will be in a new year.
Yeah, that's
That'd be a good time for us to come back anyway.
That would be a really good time.
Yes, everything's going great, and that's for women.
That would be a really good time. So what amount does that come through to?
Yep, 6, that's what I got. No, $4. No. That's.
Wanda, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it would be great if they had 6 months to kind of figure out what it was going to look like. I mean, I think your plan is fantastic. I mean, it's something we've needed.
Yes,
And,
I agree.
I mean, it's so good. But, yeah, it would be nice to kind of have a trial period, and then we can fully fund it for a year next time.
And we should
It's
have
awesome.
some documentation to show also.
Right.
that-
But I do think you need to fix that website and your brochures. I mean, you gotta print what you gotta print. I mean, doing half's not gonna save you money on that. It's the more you
Yeah.
print, the better.
Yeah,
So
brochures and the web development, yeah.
That's,
I agree with that too.
so,
But, and then, I guess, I'm looking at this, I think the Oklahoma Today ads might be a really good thing, but until we have more information, maybe we just take those off.
Okay. And I could research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you could even resubmit next month, you can say, hey, this is what it is. And so if we just took
I would
the
be fine with that.
9200 divided by 2, 4,600. Plus, what do we say, 4,000, is 8,600. So now we're at 8,600. Does that make sense? 8,600, 8,600?
Karen, I'm not
I
following
would-
your numbers.
Okay, if we take off the Oklahoma Today ads completely,
Okay,
and then you have the part-time staff for social media and the travel mileage food,
okay,
I forgot what I get, for 4,600.
okay.
And then you add the 1,500 for the brochures and the 2,500 plus is another 4,000 is 8,600.
It's 2,800 for the web development, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong column, sorry. I'm new at this is just,
Yeah.
okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, I follow you now.
I would like
That-
to give them some money for advertising. We maybe not even say Oklahoma Today, but let them
Okay,
have some money to work with.
okay,
Um,
not against that.
you know, if they're- And I'm like, what, I would say we give them $4,000 and let them see, come back in 6 months and show us what they've done with it.
I'm not against that.
We can do that.
I'm not even,
Say, I mean, these are all things I feel that are desperately needed,
Yes.
and so,
So the web, the brochures,
4,000 for just regular advertising.
Advertising.
okay.
Just blanket, and then half of your social media travel. I mean, I don't know, are we allowed to do that, to cut it back, or is that our job?
Well, we can.
We
yeah,
can recommend, I guess.
We can actually do that. We've done it many
Okay.
times. You know, this is what you get. I mean,
So you're gonna get,
Doc and I are on here as
12,600.
representatives of the chamber, so we're not gonna,
Well, I'm a
Say
chamber
too
member,
much.
and I get benefits,
So-
you know.
we're not gonna vote for, I mean, we're not gonna be the ones cutting it, but we're gonna.
so you're gonna get $3,600 for 6 months for a part-time, no, I'm asking this question, I'm not, don't write it down.
Okay.
Okay, I'm asking a question. So you're gonna get $3,600 for 6 months for your part-time social media staff, so you're gonna pay that person $600 for how many hours a month are they gonna work on this?
I think we just kind of just stated that that's how much, I mean,
We're-
how
we're
much
gonna
they
be-
put into it.
We allocated that much, and we think that gives, and along with the travel mileage and food, we're taking that into consideration, this person traveling around and having
Take
the
pictures
resources
and-
to be able to actually go out and do those things.
Okay,
And so that's the amount that we determined to give that person the room and availability to actually do their job and do it right.
okay.
But we're going to be hiring that person, and we're going to be hiring somebody that knows what they're doing and is qualified. And so we'll probably lean a lot on their expertise and what they think and go from there.
I don't think it's enough, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's too much, I don't think it's enough. So, I mean, I hired a social media consultant for another volunteer organization that I belong to, and it was $35 an hour. I mean, like, for a social media consultant. And so, like, $600 doesn't go very far, you know? So, that's all I'm saying. It's your business totally, you know, what you guys are running to do with it, but I'm wondering if that's enough for you. So, that's.
I don't know if we think it's enough either. We're trying to be
Yeah.
conservative.
Okay, well, I know,
We're
I'm
trying to
just
get-
saying, I mean,
I cut back a lot too.
I went through that process like 2 months ago, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, oh, I mean, I want to make sure that you,
Right.
if you don't have enough of the right media mix, you're not going to get the bang that you want. And so I want to make sure that you've got the right amount, you know, so that person has the resources and the time that they, I mean, social media, you think it's like no big deal to post something. I mean, you have to write the post, you have to make sure it's approved, there's a process.
It is.
And so it's not just like you take a picture and snap it and put it up there on Facebook. I mean, you have to make sure it goes with your branding, and so, you know, I want to make sure you have enough. So that's what I'm saying. So, anyway,
Yeah,
that's,
good to know.
and you might be able to find someone that's cheaper, but to get the quality that you want, you know, so that's,
You get what you pay.
yeah, you do, so, anyway.
I agree.
So do you have
Well, I mean, like, how many hours a week are you thinking this is gonna take?
I mean, as we've talked about, as many as that person wants to put into it, I mean, they could schedule all their posts. And then another thing, they need to be active on Facebook to see if there's events that they haven't caught,
Right.
they need to know about too.
So, I mean, are you thinking, like 10 hours a week, or are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, around 10
I
or
think
20.
10 would be minimum.
10, yeah, but then $600 isn't very much for 10 hours a week. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because, I don't know, I think, we took, the organization that I'm talking about is at Oklahoma City, we took 3 proposals. The lowest amount that we had was $27 an hour. The highest amount that we had was 40, and the one that was in the middle was 35. That's what we ended up with. So I'm not saying that, you have to go with someone that's that expensive, and this was in Oklahoma City, so that might be a little bit different, but still, I don't think $600 goes very far. So but if you want to try that and start with that, then, so, I don't know, Norma, I'm just saying.
I appreciate it, yeah.
I don't know whether I'm supposed to talk, but we're not only just talking about Facebook and the web, we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about.
Yes,
all
right,
the-
yes.
And so it's a big deal.
all of the different platforms.
Right.
I mean, it does, and it takes a long time to.
It takes a lot of time.
Yes, so,
And to do it quality
yes.
and accurately. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, 10 hours a week, if you even said $30 an hour, then that's $300. So times 4 weeks a month, I mean, so I think it should be double at least what it is, so, I don't know. It's just my 2 cents.
Let's do this.
Maybe.
I just want to make sure I just want to see us get what we pay for.
Yes,
That's-
That's,
Yes, of course.
that is
I
where
think
I'm
that's
just
where
like,
we all are.
And I think
and that's why I'm hesitant to say, yeah, let's, somebody goes out and does a great job, and I want to give them more money. I mean, it's just like if I hire somebody,
Right.
So.
It's a good
so
time,
you're
it's a good
thinking-
way to evaluate a person too that's doing that.
Yeah.
So you're thinking potential raise then, if you do a
Yes.
great job. in
Yeah,
the
an
first 6 months,
opportunity. Yes,
and then-
yes.
That could be that way you can
That's a
work
good,
it,
yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Like a promotion.
because we want, they need to have the apple, they're, something they're striving to, if they want more money, then we want to show us what you got, type deal. But I don't deal with that kind of stuff, so just take a picture and post it.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, I know, I know, I just want to, like I said, I just want to make sure we get what we pay for.
But in that scenario, also, you don't need to raise travel and mileage and food.
No.
In that situation, because, so what if you shifted so we're down to 4,000 on advertising. From our original, you could shift another,
Well, your 4,000, it could be whatever, advertising, every person
That's
is
true, so if
advertising,
you-
so it's there, it's that cushion you need
Yeah.
to
That
go
is
here
true.
or there,
That is true.
or,
so you could also.
And you are a subcommittee of this committee, so there is nothing that keeps you from coming back at any
Right.
point and saying, okay, we need some more help.
this person's
Or
got
we
great,
found this
we
great
need more
person,
money.
and
Yeah.
he or she's worked 3 months for us, and we are really pleased with what they're doing, and we need to give them a raise,
We need more money.
We need more money, yeah, so.
There's nothing that stops you from
Yes,
coming
I
back.
see that,
In fact, we welcome you back, we want to see more of you. So,
Yeah, because that means we're doing something.
Yeah,
With the story to tell.
yeah, we want to see more of you, so there's nothing that stops that. So that is true, if we just label that as advertising, that, what you're doing is advertising, so it gives you complete room to do whatever you need to do with that $4,000.
Does anybody else have anything?
So where are we at on the numbers again?
12-6.
12-6.
Okay, essentially for 6 months trial run.
6-month trial run, yes. And that's taking out the Oklahoma Today ads until we have more information. Which I talked to Jody about today, I think it's a great idea.
12,600.
Yes.
I like that number.
I make a motion that we approve this request for the amount of $12,600.
Second.
Charles? Melinda? Carrie?
Aye.
Norval?
Aye.
Connor?
We wanted 22 per year, 21.2 per year, you got
We're
12.6 for
doing
6 months.
6 months.
And I mean, I just want to say that I hope that we see you guys back in a couple of months with some really exciting news.
Yes.
And I mean, like, that would be the,
We're excited, we're so excited for this.
And I need to talk to you guys.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Meeting in the principal's office.
Good.
No, it'll help.
Okay.
All right. Next is discussion and action on the Lieutenant Governor's Invitational Turkey Hunt.
Are we allowed to leave? Or do you want us to stay for support?
You're on your own.
You're lucky, you can't.
I don't think that was that bad. I thought we had a good discussion.
I did too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay.
You want to do the talking?
Thanks, Melinda.
See you later.
I'll go.
Hang the room got empty fast.
Oh, it's a big group.
It's getting emptier yet. All right, let's hear about it.
You ready?
We're ready.
Of course, most of you are very aware of the Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt that we've had for nearly 30 years here in Alva now. Last year, you approved it, and we didn't have it, so we never drew anything. So this year, we're hoping that we get to have it. We've sent out invitations, just like we did last year. We've bought merchandise, just like we did last year. One thing that's different this year, normally we buy 3 guns and give them to a guest. I mean, it's in a drawing, but a guest, a guide, and a landowner get the Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt gun every year. Well, this year, those things can't be found. So we will probably not have guns this year. But, and they had nice engraving on them and all that, so. But the biggest, and you've got the budget with the request, correct? Or, okay. So you can see that our largest expense is the hotels. But we feed them, and then we buy merchandise for every guest that comes. So when they leave Alva, they can say that was the most hospitable place I've ever been. And that is a very common comment when they leave. We've got people, the guy that bought the hunt, the Turkey Federation sells a hunt every year at their national convention. And they ask those guys where they should go hunt. And they say, you go to Alva, there's no question. I think we've hosted them. I've been doing it for 20 years. This year will be 20 years for me. And every year that I can remember, we've had them. I think there was one year in there they went to Southeast or somewhere, but every year they want to come here. We've got things here that we wouldn't have probably without the turkey hunt. And the rail park is one of them. Let's see, Plain Classic has benefited from the turkey hunt. VAP has benefited from the turkey hunt. I mean, all the things that you can think of, we've tried to have people for those entities here. This year, we've gotten real strict on who we let come. Used to, they'd invite a lot of people they knew. And this last two to 3 years, we've limited people that's actually going to do something, that has a reason to come. We've invited, and I'm not saying they're coming, because Commerce got off to a real late start on the turkey hunt this year. They got new people throughout Commerce. They got new people throughout the lieutenant governor, so nobody had ever done a turkey hunt. So we never got started until January. Normally we're full speed ahead in November. But we've invited a guest from overseas, which is looking at doing something here in Alva. We've got people from California coming in. I just talked to them, and that's why I was late, because I thought it was at 6 o'clock. But anyway, I was on the phone with them making sure, because one of their questions, like this, is, are we going to be close to any gunfire? Because they have sensitive hearing. No, if you're not going hunting, you're just going to be way, way away from it. So, and I probably will have to get a group to take some of these people golfing this year. We have an aviation company that we're looking at that will enhance the stuff that we have at the airport. So, a lot of good things, and you hate going to the same business every year, and so what we're asking is just a little bit of help to alleviate that pressure on our businesses. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to.
I know the Lieutenant Governor, which is Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt, is all about tourism. I mean, that is his focus, is tourism. And when he even during these hunts and stuff,
Yes.
he's talking tourism and looking at the towns for tourism and stuff. So.
I've been real excited about their attitude as opposed to the regimes in the past, because they are focused on the tourism and the industry and manufacturing. Oklahoma has picked up a huge number of manufacturers out of the New York, California area. And supposedly we have like another 20 plus that are looking to locate in Oklahoma. So all I want is a percentage of it. I don't need all of it. So, and we'll start small and we'll grow it.
I move we approve the $2,500 for the Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt.
Second. Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Belinda,
Aye.
Charles, Terry, Connery,
Aye.
Norman.
Aye.
Thank you. And
We appreciate it, man.
before I leave, I want to compliment Jody and the chamber on what they're doing. Great job. Great job. They're doing a great job.
And that's a past chamber director right there.
And there's one
And
there.
there's one there. Yeah.
So it's exciting. I know that she's reached out to the other communities, so that information will flow to Jody now. Angelica has done the same thing. So it's all about everybody working together and helping. We've had calls from Winoka. They've got a big event coming up. They don't have enough RV spots. So one of the things Jody and I are looking at is where we can put them in Alva. I mean, we know we get their hotel, motel business, but the primitive things that they have over there, they're all full. And so they're looking for camper space and all that kind of stuff. So we figured we could be accommodating and try and locate that for them.
Awesome.
Because I know, what was the Sand Fest that you went over and sat and, at the booth for them? I went over and to give her a break so she could go eat. And, but they've given us the dates of all those kind of things so that we can give all our hotel, motel information to them for their website, which we did.
And that's the week before the car show this year.
Yes.
So
That works out nicely.
it does, because
Yes.
last year it would have been during the car show.
But I just wanted you to know what she's doing.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, and it's great if the different communities can work together
Yes.
to make sure they aren't all having one event on the same weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's
Our biggest thing.
yeah, that's really good, so,
Or have an event that enhances the other one.
yes.
That's what we're,
And that's what we want to do, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, we've been working, all three of us, and Angelica working with Freedom and Winoka.
Good.
the other
It's been
thing,
fun.
I mean, a shuttle. I mean, when Jody came up with this, why not have a little mini bus that runs from Winoka during the Sand Fest and all that, and bringing them up here and going shopping,
Yeah.
eating, you know?
Because they asked us, they're like, what's
Yeah.
I remember, I think you were sitting there with me, where can we go get breakfast in the morning? And I'm like, gonna have to go to Alva. Sorry, because there's not really breakfast down in Winoka. I mean, they wanted McDonald's and fast food, and I said, we got 30 minutes to Alva, so. But the shuttle would be a good idea,
That's an interesting idea.
I think it's really cool.
yeah.
Well, here's the other thing that could come for you at some point, is Woods County kiosk. So you can take it to those events and you plug in where to go to do stuff. And you just hit it and, so Alva has a car show, we can put it downtown, people can go look it up. They had the Sand Fest, take it down there, and those people can look up all the attractions. And I hadn't told her that yet, but.
Sounds expensive.
And their web money that they asked for, that's dirt cheap.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It
really-
is.
yeah.
It really
Because
is, yeah.
we're fixing to have a Woods County Economic Development website. And the quotes I got on it, they had to get the shocker thing to bring me back, because I had no idea they were that expensive.
Well, there has been a lot of money spent on this website
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
So we're
A little shy.
we're just adding to it, and I'm sure there'll be more that needs added to it at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
and I didn't want a cookie cutter website, to me, they look cheap, and with what's going on nowadays, everything's done on the web. All the site selectors are using the web, and that's it. They're not traveling anywhere. And so anybody that's going to be looking to relocate a business, they're going to get you on the computer.
Yes.
So I want it, and the people that are doing it are economic development specialists. They've been in economic development. They know what needs to be on it. And so I'm hoping within the next 2 months that we'll have a tremendous website, which we've already talked on how we're going to integrate everything.
Yeah.
And
And my wife loves to look at this page, there's a page on Facebook, it's Locating Doubt, Oklahoma. And some of you may have seen it, but it's just people from California and Washington and New York City and stuff that are wanting out, and they're wanting
Yes.
to come to Oklahoma. And those people are moving and buying houses and never have been here.
Yep.
They've only looked
Sight
on the
unseen,
internet.
yep.
Yes.
They've looked on the internet and go, well, Oklahoma looks like a good place. And they're looking at communities and stuff actually on the internet too. This committee needs to have their person look into that site and respond, because communities actually do that. They have somebody that goes onto that site because they're saying, well, is there somewhere in northwest Oklahoma that's a good place to live? And stuff like that. Because they're asking questions, because they're moving and they're not coming to look. They're just getting their information off the internet.
And Department of Commerce and the state of Oklahoma have advertising that is going directly to California, New York, and touting all the things that Oklahoma can offer. I mean, and that's one of the reasons Tesla looked here originally. And I think at first Tesla just thought, well, I'll just check with Oklahoma, you know. Of course, then we got second place, which was a loss, but we got a whole lot of notoriety in Oklahoma from that.
Definitely.
So,
All right, thank you, sir. All right, well, you had long stuff to set through tonight. Next is discussion and action on Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeo Association July Rodeo, not to exceed $6,000.
Okay, I'm the president, I'm the 2021 president of the Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeo Association. My name is Tyler Rickey. My first year being the president, so it's all kind of new to me. Our NWOJR is an Oklahoma nonprofit corporation. We provide standardized rodeo events for young people of Northwest Oklahoma and surrounding areas. We bring in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, some Colorado, and we've had Missouri in the past too. Contestants range from 6 and under through 19 years old as of January 1st. So we have a 6 and under age group that do 4 different events, 7 to 10 that you add events to, and then 11 to 14, and then 15 to 19. So we divide them by those age groups and then set up the prizes, the year-end prizes accordingly. We're a family-oriented association. We promote sportsmanship, respect, hard work, and dedication. We want to grow these athletes to someday allow them to reach their, the level that they strive to go. If it's pro, just go college rodeo, which brings me to wanting to come to Alva. Also, where our older age group kids are, at that point where they're wanting to look at colleges, they can get with Stockton, come tour the college, look at the rodeo facilities, different things. So it's a way to bring them in, look at the college. I went to Northwestern. I love to hear. So I'm all about bringing the kids to Northwest Oklahoma. We have anywhere from 150 to 250 contestants that will come into these rodeos, which brings their families to utilize the hotels, the restaurants, the shopping, the fuel, the things that can help the town. We have 10 rodeos starting in May with finals ending Labor Day, so we'll do basically one a month through Labor Day weekend. They'll compete for the year-end prizes, and that brings us to asking for financial assistance on being able to put on the rodeo. We raise, have the kids help go get sponsorship throughout the year. If we pull from that to help with the stock charge or anything, it's less prizes or pulls from their fund that they help raise. So we as board members go try to get as much assistance as we can where the kids help out, but also as board members want to, help out and go to these meetings or go anywhere we can to help out and get assistance. So we're looking at July 17th and 18th. And I've talked to Jody. We'd also like to come back in August and then come back to another meeting and see how this one goes.
You're on here already.
Oh, I thought you said just July rodeo.
Well, we have to consider them separate.
I got you. Okay, so July 17th and 18th, and then August 14th and 15th is when we're looking at coming. I've talked to Stockton. COVID restriction willing, we're able to use the facilities north of town, the college facilities. Last year, we weren't able to. The college put restrictions on it. So we were able to come down here and use the old college rodeo facilities, what I call it. We do have to, for Alva, we do have to bring in a few more things like light plants for electricity, bathrooms, porta potties. We've had to bring in water in the past. I think Stockton's got different water resources up there now, but in the past we've had to bring in a big tank of water for the animals, and then announcer stand and stands for people to sit in if willing. So we do have some extra expenses coming in to be able to come to Alva. We do promote on social media as well, so if it's something Visit Alva wants to give a website, we put on our social media and they can click on and see what's going on around town. I mean, we advertise a lot on social media also, so we'd be willing to do that. And we'd just like to continue coming to Alva. I mean, we'll promote Alva on our jackets. We give jackets to the kids at the end of the year. We'll have Alva emblem. We have them on our website, programs throughout the year. Any type of recognition that would help you guys too. So if you guys got any other questions.
So the entry fees for this event will amount to $22,000?
Yeah, the kids, they'll come in and they'll pay their entry fees, and then we typically try to pay it all back, and if we don't have to pull stock charge and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll, anywhere from 150 to 250 kids that could have anywhere from $100 to $300 in entry fees, just depending on how many events they do. So we make it where they can come, try to make as much of that money that they're putting up back without taking away from them. And then also some's pulled to help with the prizes as well. So, but we try to go visit businesses in different areas to help raise those funds as well and get their advertising out.
So you'll still be going to some businesses to try to cover this negative balance that you're showing?
Yeah, we'll still be reaching out to others to assist. Yeah, we have the kids' help, and then us board members are in the process of that as well.
Well, it does meet our agenda of bringing people to Alva and having them spend the night, and also with right in our line with our arena.
And they typically come in, I know I always go on Friday nights and stay till Sunday, and that's typically what everyone does, is come in the night before.
That's great.
I move to approve the request for $6,000 for July.
I second.
We have a motion and a second.
Connor?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Belinda?
Aye.
Charles? Normal?
All right, now you're up again. Discussion and action on Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeo Association August rodeo, not to exceed $6,000.
Like I mentioned, we enjoy coming to Alva, and it's a great community, and like I said, I loved it down here when I was in school, and so everyone likes coming here. So
Where do you live now?
I actually just live north, across the Kansas line. I'm down here for work all the time though, so.
I move that we approve $6,000 for the August event.
Second.
Charles? Connor?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Belinda?
Aye.
Normal?
All right.
Thank you guys very much, and I'll be in touch with Jody on helping out with us.
You wrote?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yep.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
All right, any other remarks or anything by anybody?
Oh, I have the red carpet guide out, so I'll have to give that to you guys.
I went here for most of the
Do
stuff.
you have these?
I'll put it back.
Okay.
So I don't.
Maureen might go through it.
Oh, okay.
Also, Mr. Vega.
You kind of want it back.
Oh, no,
No. I just need it back sometime, not like tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that's a good one, so.
They have red carpet maps too that show all the, I picked one up at Athena the other day at the restaurant, they had those. But they had red carpet maps too, you've seen that one, I'm sure. You fold out a map and it shows all the attractions in red carpet country.
Yeah. And I'm on the committee. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm on the board now for that,
And so I learned we had a newspaper museum in Carmen.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. But it's on the red carpet country map.
Good to know.
The Ralph Kane Memorial Newspaper Museum in Carmen. Yes.
Would you accept a comment from the crowd?
Yes.
It's relevant to the conversation about the chamber, but the Advertising and Promotions Committee is a subcommittee of this committee. So everything that was created by that committee is tourism property, City of Alva property. So it should be something that we ought to be able to have you transition if that committee doesn't doesn't exist anymore, we'll probably have to have an agenda item in the future for you guys to approve transitioning the function of that subcommittee to the chamber or something of that nature, because that is a sub-entity of your board.
All right, then I would suggest somebody does that at the next meeting.
I'll get with Jody and.
You get with Jody and set that up, and we can, that was just a matter of housekeeping, voting, so, not a problem. I thought when we funded them that would be it.
I did too.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Well, it wasn't on the agenda, so I didn't bring it up at that point.
He was supposed to be here for the turkey hunt, help present.
We have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a second?
You didn't
Who's that for?